Quick roadmap GenAI skills. If you want to break into AI fast, learn to use AI as an application engineer first, and then peel back the layers as needed. Start building projects after each topic. Do not slog over math, theory, code, etc. A GenAI engineer integrates and fine-tunes large language models (LLMs) and diffusion models to generate new content like text, images, etc. In phase 1, learn Python, APIs, Git and GitHub. Python IDEs, integrated development environments where Python applications are developed. Visual Studio Code is used for general programming and web development. Jupyter Notebook used for data science, machine learning, data visualization. JetBrains PyCharm used for large enterprise applications, professional workflows, and web development. Spider used for scientific computing, heavy mathematics, and data analysis. Thorny used for scripting basics by beginners. Learn about virtual environments. Learn asynchronous programming that handles multiple I/O tasks concurrently. Learn core Python topics: variables, data types, operators, functions, lambda functions, loops, conditional statements, indentation, classes, modules, object-oriented programming, exceptional handling. Learn data structures, lists, dictionaries, tuples, sets. Learn about file handling, how to create files, read files, write files, delete files, how to append files, update files, and how to deal with error handling, and how to deal with binary files. More about file types. JSON, JavaScript Object Notation, is a text-based data interchange format used for API communication between servers and web applications. CSV is comma-separated values file. Intermediate Python covers list comprehensions, decorators, generators, context managers. List comprehensions create new lists from lists, tuples, or ranges in a single line code, avoiding complex for loops, etc. Decorators modifies or extends the behavior of a function, method, or class without altering source code. Generators, a function that returns values one at a time. The next call to the function continues from where it left off, as its state is saved. Context managers deals with resource allocation and cleanup. This prevents resource leaks, makes the code clean, and makes application safe from exceptions. Standard Python libraries. OS interacts with operating system file structures. Sys related with system and runtime. Math related to mathematics. JSON related with JavaScript object notation. Python libraries related with data science. NumPy handles arrays and vectorized operations. Pandas handles tabular datasets using data frame structures. Data can be loaded, cleaned, filtered, sorted, aggregated, and analyzed. SciPy, open source Python library for technical and scientific computing. Python libraries associated with visualization are Matplotlib, Seaborn, Plotly. Matplotlib used for creating static, animated, and interactive visualizations in Python. Seaborn, statistical graphics can be made that are both informative and visually appealing. It is based on Matplotlib. Plotly, 3D visualization dashboards. Python libraries associated with machine learning. Scikit-learn and TensorFlow. Scikit-learn, it has machine learning algorithms like regressions and clustering. TensorFlow, open source platform by Google for building and deploying machine learning models. It helps in industry automation, scaling to enterprise level and cross-platform production. Other Python libraries associated with machine learning are Keras and PyTorch. Keras is open source for building, training, and evaluating artificial neural networks and deep learning models. PyTorch is open source machine learning and deep learning framework used for prototyping, dynamic computation graphs, and seamless GPU acceleration. This helps in research. AutoGrad is the engine that automatically computes the gradients required for training neural networks. Python libraries associated with web development and automation are Django and FastAPI. Django is open source web framework to build secure and scalable websites rapidly. Useful if the application requires built-in database management, authentication, and admin portals. Fast API is modern high-performance Python web framework used to build web APIs, microservices, and serving ML models. Other Python libraries associated with web development and automation are Flask, Request, and Beautiful Soup. Flask is a lightweight framework to build prototypes, microservices, or highly customized web apps. Request is the standard for handling simple HTTP communication over the network, download files from web pages, perform web scraping tasks, and communicate with REST APIs. Beautiful Soup is used for parsing HTML and XML documents to extract data for web scraping. API Application Programming Interface set of rules for different software applications to communicate and share data. API cycle is request, processing, response. API core components are endpoint, HTTP method, headers, and body. Endpoint is the URL. HTTP method get retrieves data from server. Post creates a new resource on the server. Put updates an entire existing resource. Patch partially updates an existing resource. Delete removes resource from server. Headers has metadata containing API keys. The last core component is body. API architectures are REST, GraphQL, SOAP, gRPC. REST, representational state transfer, is stateless and relies entirely on HTTP protocols. GraphQL, query language to request the exact data. SOAP, simple object access protocol, strict protocol that uses XML messaging. gRPC, a high-performance framework used for fast microservice-to-microservice communication using binary data streams. API tools are Postman call requests. Git and GitHub. Git, local software tool used to track changes in code. GitHub, cloud-based platform that hosts different codes. Phase 1 projects. CSV Analyzer. Parse comma-separated value files to process, clean, filter, and visualize tabular data using pandas. Compute averages and get summary statistics. API Data Fetcher. Send standard GET requests to public API servers, example weather data APIs for current conditions, using libraries. Handle errors like server being down and structured extracted data to load to CSV files. SQL to JSON exporter. Use Python JSON library and database connectors. Mini ETL project using Python. Fetch data from public API using request library, clean data using pandas, and store it into SQL database. Sales Analytics dashboard using pandas for data processing, Streamlit for web interface, Google Gemini API. Reporting tool using pandas, pandas AI library, and SQL. Data cleaning project using pandas, NumPy, and regular expressions module. Phase 2. SQL Basic Understanding. RDBMS Basics, Data Types and Operators. DDL, Create, Alter, Truncate, Drop. DML, Insert, Update, Delete. DQL, Select. TCL, Commit, Save Point, Rollback. Filtering data with where clause. Sorting data using order by. Aggregations, joins, subqueries, and CTEs. Phase 2 projects. Build ETL pipeline into PostgreSQL. Build API ingestion pipeline. Phase 3 Mathematics Basic Understanding. Vectors, matrices, eigenvalues, embeddings. Probability, distribution, Bayes theorem, conditional probability. Regression. Calculus, functions, limits, continuity, derivatives, gradients, partial derivatives, chain rule, backpropagation. Phase 4 Machine Learning. Supervised learning trains models on labeled data. Unsupervised learning finds patterns or groups in unlabeled data. Reinforcement learning learns through trial and error. Supervised machine learning algorithms. Regression algorithms, linear regression. Model the relationship between a dependent variable, example house price, and one or more independent variables, example square footage, by fitting a linear equation to observed data. Ridge or lesser regression. Classification algorithms are logistic regression, k nearest neighbors, naive Bayes. Logistic regression predicts the probability of a categorical outcome, example spam email or not, yes or no, true or false. K nearest neighbors classifies a new data point based on how closely it resembles the existing training points closest to it. Naive Bayes classification based on all input features are independent of each other. Decision trees splits data based on values to make classifications. Random forest builds multiple independent decision trees and merges their predictions to get the final result. XGBoost, extreme gradient boosting, sequentially trains decision trees such that each new tree corrects the residual errors of the ones before it. Unsupervised machine learning algorithms clustering. K-means clustering sorts data into a specific number k of groups by iteratively matching items to their closest calculated geometric centroid. DBs can group items together based on localized data density, allowing it to isolate anomalous noise points and find organic shapes. Hierarchical clustering groups data into a multi-layered tree of clusters built either from the bottom up or top down. Dimensionality reduction and association rules. Machine learning evaluation. Avoiding overfitting, training set, testing or validation set, cross-validation. Evaluation metrics are classification metrics and regression metrics. Classification metrics: accuracy, precision, recall sensitivity, F1 score, confusion matrix. Regression metrics: MAE, MSE, R-squared. Advanced evaluation considerations: fairness and bias, robustness, latency and compute cost. Master the basics of supervised versus unsupervised learning using scikit-learn. Focus heavily on evaluation metrics, precision, recall and F1 score. In production, these metrics, not vibes, determine if your model is successful. Phase 4 projects. Customer churn prediction. Identify customers who may cancel a subscription or stop service. Get data from Kaggle. Use pandas, matplotlib and seaborn to analyze. Spam detection. Load dataset, pre-process text using NLP. Use multinomial naive Bayes or logistic regression. Loan approval predictor. Clean data using pandas or scikit-learn. Train a random forest classifier. Phase 5. Prompt engineering, LLMs, Hugging Face. Prompt engineering: zero shot, one shot, few shot, chain of thought, RAG. LLMs: tokens, embeddings, context windows, attention, transformers, Ollama, GGUF models. OpenAI APIs: function calling, structured output. Hugging Face: models, tokenizers, datasets. The GitHub of AI. Phase 5 projects. Regime Analyzer, Python, Streamlit, NLP libraries, PyResparser, scikit-learn, OpenAI API. AI SQL Assistant, translate English to executable SQL queries. Use Streamlit, Fast API or Flask framework, Ollama, SQLite. Phase 6 Deep Learning. Deep learning is a branch of machine learning that learns complex patterns from large amounts of data using neural networks. How neural networks work: forward propagation, back propagation, iteration. Types of neural network. Feed forward neural network. Information flows only forward from input to output. Used for medical diagnosis, loan application approval, etc. Recurrent neural networks process sequential data like text, speech, time series. Use internal loops to retain information that helps in sending previous outputs back as inputs. Used in language translation, stock prediction, etc. Convolutional neural networks process grid-type data like images. Used in facial recognition, etc. Transformers process sequential data like text or images using self-attention mechanism. Tokenizers convert text into tokens. Used in computer vision, speech processing, bioinformatics, etc. Generative adversarial networks, GANs, and autoencoders. Learn open source deep learning frameworks, PyTorch and TensorFlow. Phase 6 projects. Text classifier, categorize unstructured text. Useful in spam detection. Image classifier, maps input image to a categorical label. use Python, TensorFlow, Keras, and develop CNN. Sentiment analyzer. Classify tone of text as positive, negative, or neutral. Use food reviews or movie reviews data. Phase 7 Deep Learning RAG Retrieval Augmented Generation. RAG improves LLM to give accurate responses by searching external knowledge base. Why RAG? Reduce hallucination, no retraining required. Enterprises can connect to their internal knowledge bases. RAG concepts: chunking, embedding, vector database, semantic search, retriever, generator. RAG framework: LangChain, Llama Index. Vector databases are ChromaDB, FAISS, Pinecone. Stores information as embeddings or numbers. Helps in semantic search. Langsmith traces and monitors production apps. Phase 7 projects. PDF chatbot. Use LangChain to load PDF, create chunks, generate embeddings, and store them in vector databases, and then retrieve. Company knowledge base chatbot. SQL documentation assistant. Document chatbot. Streamlit, LangChain, ChromaDB, OpenAI. Email drafting assistant. OpenAI, LangChain, Email API, Flask or React. Phase 8 AI agents. AI agents are autonomous systems that use reasoning to make decisions and take actions. Types of AI agents. Simple reflex agents react to current situations without considering past or future. Example, traffic lights. Model-based reflex agents reacts based on the internal model of the environment. Example, smart home security systems. Goal-based agents react and take the path based on the goal. Example, navigation apps and chess playing robots. Utility-based agents react to maximize utility. Example, stock trading and self-driving cars. Learning agents reacts based on the experience. AI agents workflow. AI agents frameworks. LangGraph, low-level orchestration framework. It is an open source to build, manage, and deploy long-running stateful agents. True AI, open source Python framework, useful for orchestrating autonomous AI agents. Autogen, a framework for building AI agents and applications. Semantic kernel, open source SDK, that is software development kit by Microsoft, that is useful to easily build, orchestrate and deploy AI agents and multi-agent systems. It integrates LLMs with Python or other programming languages. Phase 8 projects. Research agent, SQL analysis agent, automated report generator. Phase 9 AI deployment. AI deployment based on infrastructure, that is cloud or on-premise or a hybrid. Processing location, that is edge AI local devices or centralized servers. Prediction method, real-time or batch. Model serving strategy, API-based REST API, GraphQL, gRPC. Containerized, Docker, Kubernetes. Serverless, AWS Lambda, Google Cloud Functions. AI model type, traditional ML, regression, classification, decision trees. Deep learning, generative AI. AI deployment pipeline components. Model serving layer, TensorFlow serving, TalkServe, NVIDIA Triton. Data pipeline, validation, transformation, feature engineering. Monitoring system, CI/CD for AI MLOps, Jenkins, GitHub Actions, MLflow. AI deployment architectures, monolithic architecture, microservices architecture. AI deployment lifecycle, model development, validation, deployment, monitoring, retraining. Phase 9 projects. Deploy RAG app, AI microservice, production chatbot API. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, hype, and click on bell icon.